Okay, first of all, I know the history behind the WNBA. I know that both of those cities have had teams before and they got us where we're at, so I'm thankful for that.
Just 2 minutes ago, the WNBA world was turned completely upside down when Sophie Cunningham dropped a bombshell so shocking that it left Caitlin Clark absolutely speechless. We're talking about news so unexpected, so earth-shattering, that it sent shockwaves through every corner of women's basketball. This isn't about trades, contracts, or championship runs. This is about life, family, and a revelation that nobody saw coming. What exactly did Sophie tell Caitlin that made the rookie sensation freeze up completely? Stick around, because what you're about to hear will change everything you thought you knew about these two incredible athletes. The WNBA has always been more than just basketball. It's been a testament to the strength, resilience, and humanity of women who refuse to be defined by society's limitations. But what happened between Sophie Cunningham and Caitlin Clark goes beyond anything we've seen before. Behind the bright arena lights, away from the roaring crowds and the pressure of being professional athletes, these two women share something that transcends the game entirely. Sophie Cunningham has built her reputation as the Phoenix Mercury's fearless competitor, the kind of player who brings fire and intensity every single night. But on this particular day, she was carrying news that had absolutely nothing to do with three-pointers, defensive schemes, or playoff positioning. This was something deeply personal, something she had been holding close to her heart while battling through one of the most demanding seasons of her career. The weight of keeping this secret while performing at the highest level, that takes a strength most of us can't even imagine. When Sophie finally decided it was time to share her news, she didn't call her family first. She didn't reach out to her longtime teammates or closest friends. Instead, she picked up the phone and dialed Caitlin Clark. Think about that for a moment. In one of the most vulnerable and significant moments of her life, Sophie chose to confide in someone who, on paper, should have been just another competitor. But their relationship had grown into something much deeper than basketball. The conversation between these two women wasn't about basketball strategies or upcoming games. It was about life itself, about the kind of profound moments that remind us that athletes are human beings first. Sophie's voice carried a different weight that day, a mixture of excitement, nervousness, and pure joy as she prepared to share something that would change her world forever. This wasn't just an announcement. It was an invitation for Caitlin to be part of a brand new chapter in Sophie's journey. And Caitlin's response? It was everything that makes their friendship so special. She didn't react as the WNBA's newest superstar or as someone trying to maintain her image as the league's golden child. She reacted as a friend, as a sister, as someone who genuinely cared about the person on the other end of that phone call. Her joy was pure and immediate. She offered the kind of support that said, "Whatever comes next, you won't face it alone." In a world where athletes are often reduced to their statistics and achievements, this moment was a beautiful reminder of the human connections that make sports truly meaningful. But here's where the story gets even more incredible. When word of Sophie's news began to spread throughout the WNBA community, the response was unlike anything we've seen in professional sports. This wasn't a distraction or a source of drama. Instead, it brought the entire league closer together. Rivals who normally battle each other on the court were among the first to send messages of love and encouragement. Teammates celebrated openly, sharing in Sophie's excitement about the journey ahead. Even fans, who can sometimes be harsh critics, flooded social media with an avalanche of support, sharing personal stories and turning Sophie's announcement into a celebration that reached far beyond basketball. This is what makes the WNBA so special. It's more than highlight reels, box scores, and heated rivalries. At its core, it's a community, a family bound together by something deeper than competition. These players understand that behind every jersey number is a real person with dreams, struggles, and milestones worth celebrating. They know that the victories that matter most aren't always the ones that show up in the win column. Now, here's where fans started scratching their heads and asking questions. Sophie Cunningham has been one of the most mysteriously private athletes when it comes to her personal life. For years, she's been completely open about her basketball career, her training, her goals on the court. But when it comes to romance and relationships, she's turned secrecy into an art form. There have been no tag photos on Instagram, no subtle hints on social media, no soft launches that usually get fan communities buzzing with speculation. The last time anyone could definitively point to a romantic relationship in Sophie's life was back in the late 2010s when she was linked to Jacob Nadig, a multi-sport athlete who seemed to match her competitive fire. In May 2020, Sophie even posted a photo of Nadig proudly wearing her jersey, which felt like a bold statement to fans who had been wondering about her personal life. But then, just as quickly as that relationship became public, it disappeared from view. After 2020, any trace of Nadig vanished from Sophie's social media presence, leaving fans to wonder if the relationship had ended or simply moved underground. The silence has only deepened over the years. For an athlete who's so visible and engaging in every other aspect of her life, the complete absence of any romantic traces has been striking. By 2024, as Sophie's star continued to rise and she stepped into bigger spotlights, the questions about her personal life only grew louder. She appeared in interviews, participated in community events, and opened up about her faith and values. But whenever the conversation drifted toward romance, she would skillfully deflect with the precision of someone dodging a defender. This has led to endless theories among fans and media alike. Some believe Sophie has chosen to remain completely single, devoting all her energy to her basketball career and personal growth. Others are convinced she's in a secret relationship, but has chosen to protect it fiercely from public scrutiny. A few even suggest that she actually enjoys the mystery itself, maintaining control over her narrative while keeping everyone guessing. So when news broke about a baby, fans were completely bewildered. How could someone who seemed to have no romantic presence whatsoever suddenly have such life-changing news? The confusion was immediate and intense, with social media exploding with questions and theories about how this could be possible. But here's what makes Sophie Cunningham so remarkable. This news, whatever the circumstances behind it, represents something much bigger than anyone initially realized. For someone who has built her entire career on grit, determination, and refusing to be counted out, this moment feels like the ultimate extension of that fearless spirit. Sophie wasn't handed anything in this league. She was a second-round draft pick in 2019 when most people expected her to struggle to even make a roster. Second-round picks in the WNBA face brutal odds, with many never surviving training camp and even fewer building lasting careers. Sophie's journey from the University of Missouri, where she averaged over 20 points per game and became a household name, to the professional stage was filled with doubt and skepticism. When the Phoenix Mercury selected her, the expectations were low. But Sophie has always thrived on proving people wrong. Her rookie season was a fight for survival, but by her second year, she had completely rewritten the narrative. She wasn't just surviving in the WNBA. She was thriving, becoming the Mercury's heartbeat with her deadly accuracy from three-point range and her relentless defensive intensity. What truly sets Sophie apart isn't just her basketball skills, it's her authenticity. In a world where athletes often hide behind carefully crafted public personas, Sophie shows up as herself, raw and real. She doesn't speak in robotic media cliches or hide behind rehearsed sound bites. Whether she's cracking jokes on social media, laughing with teammates, or opening up about her struggles, Sophie makes people feel genuinely connected to her. She's the kind of player who reminds fans that beneath the jersey and highlight reels is a person who feels, fights, and dreams just like everyone else. That authenticity is exactly why her connection with Caitlin Clark has resonated so deeply with fans. On the surface, these two couldn't be more different. Caitlin entered the WNBA like a hurricane, shattering records, drawing massive crowds, and carrying the kind of media spotlight that women's basketball had rarely experienced. She was immediately hailed as a generational talent, the player who could help redefine the league's future. Meanwhile, Sophie carved her path through pure grit and perseverance, building her career the hard way by proving herself over and over again to skeptics. But basketball has this incredible ability to bring together people who might seem like complete opposites. Their friendship didn't develop during heated WNBA games or rivalry matchups. It actually began at USA basketball training camps, where athletes from all stages of their careers come together in a competitive but bonding environment. In that setting, mutual respect took root quickly. Sophie immediately recognized that Caitlin wasn't just another young player riding a wave of media hype. She was the real deal, a once-in-a-generation talent who could truly elevate the entire sport. And Caitlin, despite all the attention and pressure surrounding her, saw more than just Sophie's on-court toughness. She admired the resilience it took to survive and thrive in a league where nothing is guaranteed and roster spots are always in jeopardy. What grew between them wasn't rivalry or competition. It was genuine friendship. Sophie never felt threatened by Caitlin's meteoric rise or the attention she commanded. Instead, she embraced it, becoming one of Caitlin's loudest supporters. She celebrated as Caitlin broke records and brought fresh energy to the league, understanding that Caitlin's success lifted all of women's basketball. And Caitlin, despite being the new superstar everyone wanted to talk to, never treated Sophie like a secondary figure in her story. She listened to Sophie's advice, respected her experience, and valued her presence as more than just another veteran filling minutes. For a rookie navigating the whirlwind of a debut season, Sophie's voice provided crucial perspective and grounding. That trust and closeness became crystal clear when Sophie had her life-changing news to share. She could have told anyone, family members, longtime teammates, childhood friends, but she chose Caitlin. It was a small but incredibly meaningful glimpse into the kind of bond they had developed, one that transcended team jerseys, conference standings, and competitive rivalries. For fans watching this unfold, the moment was deeply moving because it revealed something increasingly rare in professional sports: genuine vulnerability. Beneath all the intensity of competition, beneath the bright lights and constant scrutiny, were simply two women being authentic friends. It wasn't about rookie versus veteran or star player versus role player. It was about human connection, respect, and the beautiful side of a sport that too often gets reduced to statistics and headlines. This moment represents something much larger than just Sophie's personal news. It's a symbol of how women's sports and women's athletics are evolving. For decades, female athletes were told they had to choose one path, either pursue a family or chase a professional career. The message was clear: you couldn't have both dreams simultaneously. But times are changing dramatically. With shifting cultural perspectives, more inclusive policies, and a growing demand for true equality, athletes like Sophie are proving that women can absolutely hold multiple dreams in their hands at the same time. When she shared her personal news, it wasn't seen as a distraction or a step backward in her career. Instead, it became a powerful symbol of growth, progress, and what it means when women are finally allowed to live as complete human beings, rather than just athletes. This story belongs to both Sophie and Caitlin in meaningful ways. For Sophie, this chapter adds incredible richness to a career already built on determination and grit. She fought for every roster spot, every minute of playing time, and every ounce of respect she's earned in this league. Now, as she enters this new phase of her life, she's carrying that same fearless energy with her both on and off the court. For Caitlin, being part of her teammates' journey revealed a different side of her character that goes far beyond her record-breaking performances and sold-out arenas. She wasn't just a star scorer anymore. She was a friend standing in the background, cheering, supporting, and celebrating someone else's significant moment. That quiet demonstration of maturity and leadership spoke volumes about who she is as a person. When fans watch the Mercury play this season, they'll see something deeper than just athletes in uniforms. They'll see Sophie embracing major life changes with courage and determination. They'll see Caitlin proving that true greatness extends far beyond individual statistics and includes lifting up others along the way. And they'll witness a bond that perfectly embodies the authentic spirit of women's sports. A sisterhood that thrives on support, resilience, and shared humanity. Because in the WNBA, the most important stories are never just about basketball. They're about real life, genuine community, and those rare, powerful moments that remind us why we care so deeply, not just about the games themselves, but about the incredible people who play them.